Hey there, it's John from Heroes and Legends, and today is April 24th, 2017, and here is your Magic the Gathering news for the day. We have some changes to the banned and restricted list. Now, first thing I want to say, right from the start, no changes to Standard, no changes to Modern. What we're going to look at today are some changes to Legacy and Vintage. Quickly, before we get started, fast reminder, if you check out the description below, you'll find two ways to support us. One is the Patreon page. The other is the Amazon affiliate store, where any purchases you make, a small percentage, will come back to help support the channel. Really goes a long way. So thank you for your consideration there. Let's talk about the changes, beginning with the formats that did not change. Modern, no changes. I think that was a very good decision. Modern feels very healthy right now. It's a very diverse format, and you really don't want to ban things if you don't need to, because that is a big impact on a lot of players, and they've invested time and money into their decks. So if you can avoid bans, that's what you want to do. So thank you, Wizards, for not touching anything there. I think that was the right move. We had a couple Modern GPs just a few months ago, and they were very diverse. The top 8s were very diverse, even the top 16s, top 32s, a lot of different decks in there. So that was good to see. Now, since then, there has been a little bit of attention on the Death Shadow decks, but I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary there, at least not yet. Yeah, black and green are probably the more dominant colors right now in the format, but again, I don't feel like there's nothing unhealthy going on at this point. As for Standard, I think a lot of players were expecting something to happen, whether it was a banning of a card like Felidar Guardian, or maybe even getting an Ally of Zendikar, and we got nothing this time around. Now, Wizards mentioned in their article where they explain the decisions they made, which I'll link in the description below if you want to check it out, that with Amonkhet entering the Standard meta, they feel like that's going to be good enough to change the environment. I kind of agree with them on the surface. Now, hopefully they've done all the testing and thoroughly checked out this theory, but I do feel like with Amonkhet bringing the amount of artifact destruction that it's coming with, and I also feel like the fact that it's adding a few more control elements, but a lot of aggro, I do think the meta is about to be churned pretty significantly. So we'll have to wait and see. I hope that's correct. And if it turns out that there's any deck that still remains powerful, like for example, if Copycat ends up taking 4 out of the 8 spots and for some reason Mardu Vehicle still does well or something like that in the Pro Tour, which I don't really think will happen, then I have no doubt we'll probably see some bannings in the next banned and restricted list announcement. So we'll kind of wait and see there. Now let's go into the formats that have had some changes, and the changes do go into effect today according to the announcement. So we'll start off with Legacy. Like you just saw from the title card, one big announcement to make. Senseis Divining Top has been banned. Now, a lot of players probably expected this. As a matter of fact, a lot of folks thought it would happen during the last announcement or even the one before, maybe even the one before that. But the fact of the matter is, Legacy Miracles is definitely the top deck by far in the format. It's been taking up a large percentage of the meta for quite some time now. Senseis Divining Top is a huge engine piece to that deck. It interacts very well with the Miracle cards, obviously. Also combos with Counterbalance to lock out the game. Now, that combo has been around forever in Legacy, but the addition of the Miracles cards just really kind of pushed that concept over the top. Now, the other issue with Top is it's a real slow card to play, especially if you're not experienced playing it. So this does lead to a lot of rounds going to time, a lot of draws, things of that nature, which isn't good for the format either. Now, the downside is Miracles was a very popular deck. A lot of players invested a lot of time and money in these decks, and now they're changing the format very significantly by removing this card, and a lot of folks may need to reinvest if they want to continue to play Legacy, and not everyone's going to be able to do that. So bannings are never a good thing because of that reason alone, and that bothers me because it does hurt the format in general, I think. But I understand the decision-making here to try to add some diversity back into the format, because a lack of diversity will also hurt the format, so it's kind of a no-win situation. Now, real quick, I want to give a shout-out to Star City Games. They made an announcement today that if anybody pre-ordered the Invocation counterbalances, that they would refund you. So a lot of folks could be picking those up potentially to kind of trick out their Legacy Miracles deck, and might not want those anymore. So that was really nice of them to do that. And usually when one of the big stores does something like that, the others do follow suit. So if you did pre-order from, say, Channel Fireball or Cool Stuff, I would stay tuned. There'll probably be an announcement coming from them soon. Typically, when one does one of those things, the other big ones usually follow. So hopefully that's the case. At least they're trying to look out for players on some level there. Next, let's move on to Vintage. Now, I know this announcement probably doesn't affect a lot of people. I know a very few amount of people are able to play Vintage in paper. A few more, of course, do play on Magic Online. And a lot of players do enjoy watching Vintage in things like Vintage Super League and such. So if you are a fan of the format in general, you probably know that the Workshop decks, as well as the Monastery Mentor decks, are very powerful. So they restricted a couple of cards to try to open up the diversity of the format a little more, and I think it could help. The first one is Gush. This has now been restricted. And secondly, we have Gitaxian Probe, which has also been restricted. Now, it's kind of funny. We saw a Probe get banned in Modern. Now it's restricted in Vintage. Nothing in Legacy, though. And Wizards did say that they felt like there isn't an issue right now with Probe in the Legacy format. It could change, of course, if the format shifts now that we're losing Top. But at least at this point, they do look at every format individually and feel like it's fine right now. And I think that's good. Don't ban anything if you don't need to. It's a good way to look at it, in my opinion. All right, having said that, that's the news for today. So I hope you found this video helpful. The next banned and restricted list announcement is going to occur June 14th and will go into effect June 19th, assuming that there are any changes at that point. They'll be after the Pro Tour. So until then, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.